All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch through the CLINTERView, the interview with Josh's dad, Clint, with Josh, KingCobraJFS, in the room. I haven't seen this yet. Hopefully, there'll be stuff that I'm already aware of that I can provide context for. I know I suck at this. I'm the worst person to be in charge of informing the general public about KingCobraJFS, but I'm going to watch through this anyway. This is from Your Favorite Son. Is this the same person that went to Josh's house and tried to do like a documentary? Yes, it is. God, I did not. I watched some of this and I remember not liking it. It was it's like he didn't know how to talk to him or something. But hey, you got to give props for putting in the effort here. What have I done to benefit society lately, right? All right, might as well get started. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Hopefully I can cut good couple of sections out or something. I don't know.
Audio check. Mic check.
Good stuff. Okay. Okay. Do we want to wait for Josh?
Why does it look like Clint's background isn't real? Hi, Tucker. Maybe he's just got some interesting lighting. Tucker, please. Oh my God, what's the matter? You just woke up? Where did you come from? Anyway, like I was saying, Mr. Photography here has some interesting lighting in his studio.
Hey, Josh.
Dinner's ready.
Nice.
I say I'm taking a
Yes. Oh my God, Josh, only you, man.
He's late to his interview.
I was taking that shit, man. I had to drop a little troll out of my Asperger's.
First things first, why don't you just introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are.
My name is Clint Saunders. I'm Josh's dad.
Not by choice.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, man. You didn't have any choice on that one.
I imagine Josh is kidding.
I feel sorry for you more than you feel for me.
You know, what motivated you to want to do this interview, and
It's so weird to have him sitting next to him.
what do you hope to get out of it?
Well, I get hit up for interviews like this constantly.
Must be nice.
And it's something I've always ignored because I don't, the YouTube thing's Josh's thing. And,
I like the points on his glasses.
and it's his world and it's his thing. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to do anything that's going to take away from what he's doing or try to infiltrate into his gig, if that makes sense. And plus, I just don't trust anybody in the Cobraverse.
Weird to hear him say that.
Years ago, I would let people in and they would just burn me. I'd let them in and I'd talk to them and I'd reveal stuff I shouldn't have because I thought they were legit. And
I definitely have heard of him sharing a little too much information before. I've heard that he has posted several times in the now banned KingCobraJFS subreddit, like trying to provide some insight to things, and I just don't think that went over well. Hi, Tucker. Hi. Please.
I get 40 emails a day. I'm not a troll. Whatever, man.
40 emails a day.
And they all just fuck us over, always. I'm 100% record now. I have a bad track record for reading people, apparently. And so when you emailed me, Josh had contacted me. So years ago, I quit reading any type of email or text I get from anybody. The second I see your son...
They're blowing up his phone, too?
Cobra or, YouTube, I just delete it because oh my God, I don't have time to read that shit. And because I was just inundated with it. And plus I don't care what these people's opinions are. They don't know us. They don't know me.
Yeah, Jessica, why are you trying to snitch on Josh to Clint? He doesn't care.
Really don't know Josh. They think they do. But he told me you were cool. So when you sent me an email, I looked for it. And
boy's falling asleep over there. He's embarrassed.
Read it, and I was still very skeptical. Of course, there's no way in hell.
The arms folded is really getting me too.
An interview with you until I saw what you did, and I appreciated your honesty and your fairness. And I realized, you weren't trying to, manipulate it for a preconceived idea, or to push a narrative, or to try to hurt. So, with all the people in life, in Josh's life, who hurt him, I just don't trust anybody.
Like Jessica.
Yeah. So with that, then let's pivot over to.
This is from, I think, the end of 2023, and that's more recent than I thought, honestly. Huh. Very interesting. How did I miss this?
Josh, what was Josh like as a kid?
So one of the things with Josh, when Josh was not even 2 years old, we knew there was definitely something, different about him. And so we, started having him checked. By the time he was 5 years old, I realized I didn't have the parenting skills to help him. I mean, he was take everything you think you know about parenting and you just throw it right out the window. At the time, I was volunteering.
I'm sure your favorite son can relate to this.
You're a coach for Special Olympics, so I was very used to working with, developmentally challenged kids, both physically and mentally, and I also coached for
God. Josh seems so embarrassed.
A long time. So I really had a lot of skills in terms of working with kids, but nothing worked with Josh. Every single parenting trick I tried, just nothing. Nothing. And I realized that I need some help. So I actually went back to
school. Look at the faces Josh is making in the camera.
Got a degree in psychology and started working with adjudicated youth. And I was pursuing the degree to help myself so that I could help him. Because I needed a better understanding.
He's stepping up.
What I was dealing with and how to help him, because he had.
Is there anything Clint can't do? He's an artist, a photographer, he's a gymnast, an actor. God.
By the time he was 6, he'd been labeled probably 6 different disorders.
Teacher.
And yeah, I know. Yeah.
666, man. Yeah.
I knew it. So anyways, I worked with adjudicated youth for probably about 10 years. And it started out, I did an internship at a boys' prison. I'm working with kids anywhere from stealing a pack of cigarettes to literally murder. And
nice.
After that, I worked as an aftercare case manager, helping kids who gone through a program, and then when they come back home, they're trying to reestablish back into their communities. And then I also worked in group home environments for. Man,
this interview really is all about Clint, huh?
Adjudicated youth, which were pretty intense.
I guess I should have known, right?
I worked across the full spectrum of people who.
Wow, look at all those cameras and some old ones and stuff.
And I'm glad I did, because it really helped me.
Look at that big vase. Big vase. Surprised Josh has knocked that over.
Because Josh is, without a doubt, the most difficult human being I've ever met in my life.
That's how he likes it.
Just, a couple of the things that he was diagnosed with. One of them is I can't remember the name of it now. This is so long ago, but it's a
oppositional defiance disorder.
Yes, thank you. That is exactly what it was.
How did he know what he was talking about?
It was brutal. I'm just brutal. And you try every tactic, and he'll just flip it on you. And you try this, and he flips it on you. So it's very, very, very
He's in the room.
This is where my hair went. I used to have a lot of hair, and that's where it all went.
Josh has a lot of hair.
Especially through the training that I got through my career and what I was doing, things got a lot better in terms of, we figured out, different ways to help Josh and help him function normally and help him.
This is pretty interesting.
Help, the rest of
Bite-Sized Cobra Vids does a really good job summarizing early life for Josh and stuff, which includes a lot of stuff from this interview, I believe.
Our family help him, and
you're looking for it all put together in a nice package.
For years, when he turned 18, and you spend time with Josh, you'll appreciate this. He's like, all right, I'm 18. We're out having dinner. And I said, so what's it like to be an adult? He goes, that's right, I'm an adult. That means I don't have to do what you tell me anymore. And he goes, yeah, I'm an adult, so I don't have to do anything you tell me. And I'm like, well, technically, you're living in my house, and you're going to follow my rules. When you move out, you can do whatever you want. When you're living in my house, you're going to live by our rules. And he goes, no, you don't.
Man, I feel like he was really looking forward to that, though.
No, you can't make me. I'm an adult. And in Josh's mind, as you know, it's kind of very black and white, and there isn't a lot of gray. And boom.
Yeah.
He quit everything. So in his mind, especially at that age, he took everything that we had ever made him do that he didn't like and refused to do it. He refused to take a shower, refused to brush his teeth, refused to clean his room. He started smoking. He didn't smoke before that. He's like, I'm going to start smoking.
It's kind of embarrassing, no?
So why would you do that? Well, because I'm 18. You can't stop me. Yeah, but why would you start that? Because I can. And so he started smoking.
Fair enough.
I'm not allowed to smoke in my house, so he's always smoking in the house. And I'm not going to clean my room anymore. Oh, my God. I'm not going to do the chores anymore. And not that, you can't make me take meds anymore. And you can't make me see a counselor anymore. And so in his mind,
I remember some of this.
He was done with every single thing that we had ever made him do that he didn't like.
And that's what he
and then
wants,
unable to let that go. So the next 2 years were just absolute hell. for all of us.
You're really going to make me edit this video. This is going to be like 2 hours long. You're going to make me flick through this and find where you barked. Now she's embarrassed.
I'm trying to parent. We're all, and he's so defiant and trying to do his own thing and be an adult. And finally it got to the point, it's like, dude, if you don't want to live, if you're not going to follow our rules, you need to find your own place. So
sure.
He got a job and
makes sense.
Moved out on his own. And he's been on his own ever since. I'm actually really proud of him for that. He worked hard. He saved money. Got his first and last month's rent. Got an apartment.
There you go.
But still really struggling because society has rules too. And his landlord had rules too.
Yeah, he does have to follow some rules, huh?
And, and he's still just defying all these rules. And to this day, he won't brush his teeth. And I tell him 40 times a week. And it's just not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at a certain point, like, what can you do? Like, if he wants to just have his teeth rot, like, all right, if that's you want to eat applesauce, okay. If that's what you're gonna do, sure.
And then it can be very frustrating. So then me, of course, being I think a typical parent, I'm trying to parent him always, and in his mind, I'm an asshole who's always lecturing him and trying to change who he is. And I think this is kind of a normal teen dynamic.
That true, Josh?
Especially same-sex parent. My dad wants.
Clint, you better watch out. I see he's got his wand locked and loaded in his pocket there. He's inches away from it.
To be like him, and I'm not.
Grab it at any second.
Good enough for him. Type of a mentality, and I think it's very normal. But he, with Josh, everything's always to the extreme. It's always to the extreme. And so then every time I was with him, I'm of course parenting, and he's of course saying, "Enough, man."
Someone fart.
Enough. I don't get out. And so he started blocking me from his life, and he blocked me on social media. He blocked my phone number.
Damn.
If I wanted to talk to him, I had to do like everybody else and go to his apartment and climb down and bang on his window. If we have important family things going on, or a death in the family, or we're going somewhere, I'd have to literally trap through the alley and bang on his window and hope that he was home. And I finally realized, and this was hard at first. It's gotten easier, but I finally realized, if I'm going to be in his life, I'm going to have to do a couple different things. One, I've got to stop trying to change him. Not, because obviously as a dad, I want my kid brushing his teeth. I want my kid taking a shower. I want my kid keeping his room clean. I want my kid having a job, and I want my kid taking care of himself physically and mentally.
Sure.
Of course I want all that. But in his eyes, every time I even remind him, I'm lecturing. I'm trying to change him. And I was very much against the goth thing, as he knows.
Man, this is a lot more interesting than you would have thought, huh?
Very much so.
Against the goth thing. Okay, now that's a little strict,
and,
huh?
And this is, I think, a common thing, too. It was a theme in his life, is I always think it's a phase. Okay, so here's a phase. And we go through phases as we grow up. So I'm like, I can't wait. When he grows out of this phase, oh, please, God. When he grows out of this phase. And I finally had to accept the fact he isn't in a phase. This is who he is. And I got to make a decision. I'm going to be in his life or I'm not. And if I'm going to be in his life, I have to accept who he is. And I've got to love him anyway, period.
There you go.
So there you go. About 24, 25. I'm like, all right, Dad, you got to quit being a dad 24/7. And just accept the fact that, and then for me, then it wasn't just that too. Then it's like I have to choose to be proud of who he is. It isn't just, all right, fine, I accept you. Not
weird way of putting that.
That's not going to work either. So it's like, no,
bro, he's a YouTube celebrity. He's got fangirls all over him. What are you talking about?
Proud of who he is.
Be proud.
And so I started focusing on that, and I started focusing on the things about him that are great, and I'm very proud of who he is.
Wands, makes wands.
Obviously, I'm not proud of all of his behaviors. I'm not proud of all the choices he makes. But I am very proud of him and as a person, and I stopped trying to change him. I just accepted, this is my boy. This is who he is. Nobody's going to change him. He's been this way since he was 2 years old, and that's who he.
I think he has him back on Facebook and stuff, or at least did for a while. And it's funny too because of how much of an oversharer Josh tends to be. So he will write weird stuff on Facebook about his poop or something, and his family's just looking at it what?
He is. So embrace it. And then since then, it was slow at first. But he started letting me back in his life, and we started to build a better relationship and a stronger relationship. And
I know Josh really likes his stepmom,
but a lot of that is me keeping my mouth shut, which isn't always easy. And when I do it with my mouth, I get yelled at. And with Josh,
I feel like Clint talks plenty.
too, as a parent, the surest way for me to get him to do something is tell him not to. He's still, to this day, even though he's in his 30s, the surest way for me to get him to not do something is to tell him to do it.
I'm curious as like what Clint thought the benefit was to coming on here and doing this interview.
He's still in that defiant mode.
Show off some of his pictures.
And so I do the best I can
Clear
to try
the
to find
air.
a balance so that we can have a relationship. I can still be there and take care of him if he needs help. But there's a line, and if I cross the line, I'm blocked.
There you go.
And it's tough. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys are, I mean, obviously.
Forgot this guy was here.
Members, but you're happy together.
And the thing that people don't realize, and they don't need to realize,
right?
it's none of their damn business, is Josh and I talk on the phone several times a week. We hang out whenever, and I'm very busy. I run a couple.
Whoops, that was me. Well, lots up, Josh, when he got the first eviction.
I'm also a full-time teacher, so I'm very busy. But when we hang out probably at least once a week. Well, at least like run to the post office or
get the PO box fan mail.
Run to the store, go buy Wandwood, things like that. And then when we can, and I got into woodworking a few years ago, just kind of making some little sculptures and stuff. I'm really horrible at it.
Nice.
But I enjoy it, So it's like
maybe Josh can teach you a few things.
I enjoy the process.
The expert wand maker.
I think guys like to play with their wood or something, but it's they're wankers. So
Weird.
And whoever got Josh the lathe, I am forever indebted to them and want to thank them, because I had talked to Josh about getting a lathe for years. And the number one rule of Josh is if it's my idea, it ain't going to happen. Period. I tried to get him to do a food channel for years. Ever since he was little. The food concoctions and the drink concoctions, oh my God. And I'm like, dude, the shit you put
Clint is proud of the dank food hacks. I love that.
together and put in your mouth
What about the mead?
is just horrifying. And people would pay to watch that, man. And I tried to get him to do that when he first started his channel. I'm like, you need to do with your channel. You need to do your concoctions, man. Oh, I'm cool, dude. I'm good, Dad. I don't need that, Dad.
I do my concoctions on my channel, though.
You do now.
I do them on my channel.
I've been trying to get you to them since you were 18. Oh my God, and the stuff.
Food hack
and I mean, it's just
What
like,
do you think about all those drink combos, all the alcohol he gets sent?
I don't know. It's hard not to watch. As gross as it can be, it's like,
True.
oh, he's not going to eat that. And when I watched your documentary, I'm sitting there going, "Don't eat that chicken, man. Don't eat that chicken." I couldn't believe you ate that chicken. I'm like,
Hey, the Doritos chicken was delicious.
You can't.
Josh, feed him.
He made food. You got to be. I'm in his home. I got to have manners.
Sure,
polite,
I appreciate that. I want to.
Of course.
And added way too much sauce to it. But
I've had enough Josh
Oh, he
concoctions
remembers
in
it.
my life to know what that can do to you. But that just is who he is, and he's always been that way. And literally what you see, aside from the substance abuse, what
Jeez.
you see is Josh. And this is one of the reasons I think he's loved and hated, is because nobody else got the balls to be that way. Who else? Nobody.
Exactly.
We are all a persona, and we present ourselves in certain situations and certain things how we want to be seen. That's just human nature. Now, Josh, man, he's just 100% himself all the time. And he does have
He's
he does get
real.
a little bit of this, the Cobes persona when he's online, and I see that come out. I saw that in your interview.
Oh my God, you're calling him out.
But for the most part, but that's also, his persona. That's his YouTube channel. He's not always like that.
Oh my God, it's all a lie.
But the lathe, anyways, I tried to talk to him to get in a lathe forever, and he's like, and he he'd go back and forth. Oh, that's cool. Let's try it. Okay, let's go get one. No, I'm good. I changed my mind. A week later, hey, you want to try a
Big
lathe?
commitment.
You'd make some great ones on a lathe. No, I'm good. Okay, maybe that'd be cool. Okay, great. Let's get one. No, I changed my mind. And we were like this for years.
I prefer the handmade look.
And that
personally.
lathe showed up, and I'm like, okay, good. So I went over and to show him how to use it. And I hadn't used a lathe since junior high school. And I just loved it. It was just so relaxing. And for the first time, I swear to God, the first time in his entire life, he let me teach him something. And he let me teach him how to use that lathe.
Sorry. I hate having all these Facebook tabs open while I'm like checking up on Josh and Jessica. Not used to
And he
it.
let me show him how to make once, and he actually listened instead of fighting me. It was magic for me. I teared up. I was just, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God.
Well, the idea that I can't grow as a person.
You know how 20
stuck in his ways.
20 some years, he would never let me teach him anything or show him anything, and he finally let me show him. And he's learning. So we had so much fun.
He's improving.
So I bought a lathe for my woodworking area as well, and so then we'll load his lathe up and bring it over here, and you know, when I have the time, we'll spend a full day. Sometimes like 8-9 hours. Just I work on my wood stuff while he
makes a whole shift.
And we work them together, and it's so great. And so whoever got him that lathe, it gave us an opportunity to bond over something without fighting. And I'm truly thankful for that person. So whoever that was, if I see this, thank you so much.
You guys think Clint sent the lathe himself? I don't know. I don't know the story behind the lathe. I think some person sent it. I don't know.
A huge thing in Josh's life, and he enjoys it.
That'd be kind of funny. Clint anonymously sent it.
It's very relaxing. You know, I find it very therapeutic for him as well.
It's really therapeutic for me, like when I play guitar and stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're working on getting some resin molds and stuff now to build our own stuff, so we can start. We're going to try turning some resin to see how that works.
What do you think is different?
Sounds dangerous. I don't know.
Now to when you guys were in that butting heads phase.
Really, the only different. Well, Josh has mellowed a lot with his temper, which is I'm very thankful. His temper used to get him in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he doesn't tend to threaten people in the horrible ways that he used to.
What can I say?
So, and that makes it so much easier too, because even now, even when I do start lecturing him, because I can't help it, you know, I'm still a dad. He doesn't get so volatile. You know, he used to just instantly just a wall and anger, and then just a huge blow up. And now he's calmer. He doesn't react away, and it takes.
I'm sick of it.
You know, quite often, 10 minutes later, he'll call me and go, "Hey, I'm sorry. I know you love me. You know, I know you're just trying to take care of me. I'm sorry, actually." And so that ability to self-reflect a little bit.
Cobra's got feelings.
That was I made a bad choice, and own it is a huge difference, and it's so nice. And just the biggest thing though is me finally just accepting the fact that this is my kid, and I'm not gonna. I got to stop trying to turn him into something I want him to be, and let him be him, and love him for it, and respect him for it anyway. And so that was the biggest change, but it took him a while to trust me on that too. You know, but the thing is like. And this is Josh. You know, Josh is the way his mind works. But I mean, I wasn't a mean, horrible parent who just all the time. But in Josh's mind,
sure.
Brush your teeth. You know, when you get up in the morning, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, you put on clean clothes, you make your bed.
Sometimes
that's a rule. And in Josh's mind, I remember in your clip, I saw a couple of his older videos, and he said, "I'm so pissed about that right now." And those were literally fights about like you need to brush your teeth. I mean, it was literally that's what those fights were. It was so silly.
God, that's embarrassing.
And I've seen big improvements in Josh. Like now he showers every day.
Well, I don't shower every day, but I shower more.
But if he's going out, you know, if he's going to leave the apartment for any reason, you make sure he showers first.
I don't know.
And he started doing his laundry. Oh my God. Because he would never do laundry either. And when he first moved out, I would go clean his place because I'm a clean fanatic anyway, and it was so gross.
He's a neat freak.
Yeah. And so and plus, you know, it's like I got to teach him, you know. So I go, "Come on, man, let's go, let's clean this place." And then of course, so then he wouldn't let me in his house. I kept trying to again control him, and also he didn't want to live like that.
Wouldn't let him into his house.
It took a while, and after he got kicked out of that last apartment for it, that was a huge eye opener for him. And as you mentioned, his new apartment's covered in dust because he's wood turning all the time. But he keeps it clean. You know, he vacuums regular. He cleans the kitchen. He empties the trash. You know, that doesn't smell in there at all. Thank God.
That's what I hear.
Sit down because you're going to stick to something. That old apartment got pretty gross.
To something.
The old apartment wasn't that bad.
In your opinion, that's because the lighting was horrible.
And I think you're talking a lot about, you know, Josh growing and becoming more self-reflective. But I think it's also respectable that you have felt that same growth. And
this guy's very serious.
You know, both better your relationship. This is pretty inspiring, to be honest.
Well, it's just parenting, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the people on the outside, you know, they don't. It's easy to. And one thing when you have a challenge, when you raise a child with challenges, you're judged every second of every day. You know, when I was coaching Special Olympics, that was one thing I noticed all the parents had in common was the way people look at them, the way they treat them, because your kid's weird. your kid's different. So what did you do wrong? You must be a bad parent because your kid's acting weird. And so it's very
What do you think he's looking at on his phone right now?
easy to blame parents, and to this day, and I'm guilty of it. If I'm in a store and I see a kid throwing a fit, I think somebody needs to swat that kid's ass.
Whoa! What? Clint? You kidding me? That's what you're thinking? Kind of messed up.
I don't think
That's the problem with today's youth. You're not allowed to spank them.
No! What? The hell? What is going on? Why are you both agreeing on that? What? That's such a weird thing for the both of them to agree on. Ew, these sickos.
I don't think, oh my God, that kid probably has autism and is having a moment right now because
Couple of sickos here.
Because that's usually what's happening. I think that kid needs discipline, and I'm guilty of it myself. So but my whole life, his whole life, everywhere you go, you're judging. And I don't know. I think a lot of these major trolls, I think that they think they can hurt me in some way by calling me names. But it's like, dude,
I've been bullied my entire life. What the fuck else are they going to say to me?
Well,
his whole life.
You can't. It's surreal. That whole topic is surreal. And the other thing we started talking about, things got way off track. Sorry. You were mentioning, people don't see us together. Well, that's because both me and also as Josh's wishes, it's his thing. And
no Clint collab on the next dank food hack.
There was a while when
That
he
would
was
be
doing
wacky.
Facebook Live stuff. I'd always log in to watch him and
That'd
chat
be
with
funny.
him. But I noticed all the people in the chat would see me and start instantly messaging me and trying to talk to me. And say, no, I don't want to take away from his thing. This is his thing, not mine.
He's the famous Clint Saunders.
So I didn't want to, be that, a distraction. And so I just decided that I need to never ever be visible in his YouTube life because of that. Because it's
you could do a food hack with him.
And I didn't know that was going to be a harmful thing to us. Because of the community that watches him. Yeah, this is where I get so frustrated because they don't look at him as a human being. They look at him as their toy. And I mean,
Sure.
Even some teasing, and you mentioned this in your documentary as well. Some of the good-natured teasing, and this was hard for Josh because I'm a teaser, and he has Asperger's, and Asperger's take everything very literal.
Big teaser.
And it took
Clint Saunders, big tease.
Should have put this poor kid through when he was little because dad stories. Do you know you're an alien?
Hitting him with dad jokes and pissing him off.
And use my Photoshop skills to literally make it real. And he was so traumatized. I thought it was so damn funny, but he was so traumatized. Even now, look at the look on his face. He's like, really? You're going to bring that up?
Oh my God.
It was, and then later, when I found out, that he had Asperger's and that he took everything very little, I was like, oh shit, I'm a horrible parent, man. I'm like, I can't believe I did that to this kid. So he had the wrong dad to have Asperger's.
Just ruining his life with dad jokes.
And so he's always been teased. He's always been harassed because he's different,
Rejected by every chick.
Oh my God! Every day is his life.
Rejected by every chick.
From the time he was in grade school, I've had to, and I have no idea how hard this is as a parent to watch your kid go through this every single day. I mean, every day. It's not even a little bit, and it gets so.
The hell was that? What was even that? Was that like on their computer? Nothing even popped up. God, that was annoying.
Bad that you got to go to the school to intervene. And he's just like a target. He has this giant neon sign that says "pick on me" above his head, and I don't know why.
Sad.
But even then, there's a line, and these trolls on the internet go far beyond picking on him. They do everything they can to hurt him. Okay, he can't mention a single person's name on his YouTube channel without them going after them to the point where they get Josh out of their lives because they're like, "I'm sorry, Josh. I love you. You've always been a good person to me, but I can't." And they're throwing him out of his lives. Everybody, they will not allow him to be happy. He's not allowed. They get him kicked out of every place he goes to. He goes to a restaurant and shows up, and they find out he's there. They start bombarding that restaurant nonstop until the restaurant asks him to leave. A lot of these people I know and they're friends of mine, they call
Well, he doesn't have to live stream from the restaurant and show off where he is, though.
Clint, I'm so sorry, but we just can't. But they try to get him fired from every job he gets. They get him kicked out of every establishment he likes to go to. It's insane. And so he can't go out of his apartment without being hazed and harassed. He can't go into any local establishment without them harassing that establishment until they kicked him out. Every person he mentions on his YouTube channel, they do all they can to get them out of his life. They try like hell to get him evicted from his apartment.
The trolls are just jealous.
Is his life not challenging enough? And then they go, oh, the decline. We're so worried about the decline. Josh's drinking decline. Gee, I wonder why the fuck he drinks.
Because I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it.
Temporarily.
That's a weird place for Clint to go. Like, say, like, yeah, he drinks because you guys ruin his life.
Don't have that conversation, but it's and then you know, it's came up in your interview too. It's been so sad to watch the decline. Well, I wonder why he has the decline. Jesus Christ! Anybody that they done psychological projects with plants where they take the exact same plant and the same pot, same lighting, same everything, but one of them they scream at all day, and it literally stunts its development. A plant. Let's take a human being. A human being.
Is he a plant?
They've crossed a lot of lines, to be honest.
I don't get it, man. How miserable does your life have to be that the only fulfillment you get out of it is spending 5-6 hours a day harassing an autistic man?
So I think,
Clint's hitting them with the same thing Josh does.
I want to pose that same question.
He rules their sad lives.
Do you understand that there's a group of people that do genuinely care about Josh, that may mess with him, may do small things, and then there's the other group of people that.
So there's
three groups: my fans who don't mess with me, and then the other two, like you said. Yeah.
So there's the fans. Are nice.
I guess so. Yeah,
and then
that's more accurate.
There is a group, and I know some of them, not personally, but I know I can list online names of some of the people who are genuinely, I think, good-natured teasing, not meaning to harm, not realizing that he does take, and this is something we work on constantly, is separating those, some of the mail things, some of the shit they send in the mail, getting him to understand, hey, that's really kind of funny. No snooker.
The glitter bombs are a little scary,
and getting him to recognize the difference between the stuff that is funny and not. But then there's and they are, and even though they intend to be harmless, and I get it, 10 years, man. When you're under that constant bombardment of it, it has a psychological effect on. But then you've got that group, the ones that I just got so pissed off about. Sorry about that. That treat him like a toy. They own him. He's our toy, and we get to do whatever we want with him. I mean that's what they think. Okay, they don't. This isn't a human being. This is their own reality TV show that they get to manipulate and control. And anybody that's nice to him in this reality TV show is instantly attacked. And another reason I've never done an interview like this, because it doesn't matter what I say. When you share this, they're going to take everything I say and twist it, and they're going to turn it, and they're going to turn me into a villain because they need a villain, and I'm their villain. There isn't one of those people that could handle 10 minutes in his life. 10 minutes, let alone 10 years. I made that one post on Facebook the one day about this, talking about how they treat him like he's their own reality TV show and they're producers. And I called them out for a bunch of their shit. They lost their collective shit on the subreddit. I mean, just lost their shit about, oh, fuck. And they were so pissed off. And
that was the last dad we had.
So hurt and upset over one insult. One. How about one every 10 minutes, every 24 hours for 10 years? One insult. They couldn't last 10 minutes.
Where are we going with this?
They're too sensitive. They're too fragile. So, and this is one of the things that I have the highest level of respect for.
Why is Clint trying to own the trolls right now?
I mean, he has substance abuse issues, and we talk about it a lot, and he knows how I feel about it. And I'm not going to get into that on camera for his sake. But
sure.
Fuck. But I think if that's all he's got right now, based on the abuse he's taken, and it isn't just a little, man. If these trolls were his parents in his life, he'd have been removed from the home a long time ago. You know what I mean? It's surreal.
Like the worst I do anymore is smoke pot and drink alcohol. What?
You know what? So, anywho,
what the hell was that?
I haven't touched air duster in several days. I'm quite proud of myself.
Days?
He said, I haven't touched air duster in several days.
Weeks, actually.
Several weeks.
And that's the other thing. Where do you think he gets the shit? They send it to him.
Yeah.
It's
that guy. I think a
God, what a complex situation.
I would agree that guy that sent Duster in the mail is like a genuine piece of shit.
I'm still doing it. I understand.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I give it to a friend of mine who has a computer business because he does his business all the time. Well, yeah, all the shit they send in the
dusters,
find places for it.
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends and family, thank you guys for the free shit, free cat food, the free bird food. I got a buddy who's got bird feeders and he loved that bird seed. So anybody that wants to send him that shit, keep sending it. I got friends and family who love it.
You got friends who need some like wood chips?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got 3 big old boxes of troll scents.
Sweet.
Is that what they were sending you yesterday?
Yeah, that one, those wood chips. Yeah, they sent me like 3 of them now.
That's just it.
Boxes of wood chips.
I have to obviously tell people in my life about this because I do a lot of charity work. And I do a lot of I do a lot of things in the public in my community, and I have to warn them. I'm like, if you put any of this online, it's going to get attacked, and you're going to hear some really nasty shit about me. So just be prepared for it. And when I tell them the situation, everybody has the same response. They sit there with their mouth wide open, and then they go, "Why?" And I think that's kind of the bottom question is why. And I mean this sincerely. As pissed off as I got a little bit ago, I sincerely hurt for these people. I feel bad for them because I can't imagine, and I tell Josh this all the time, how hard their life has got to be.
I think it's funny. Fuck them.
I know.
No, I agree with him. I think like the people who take stuff too far, like they're like not in like a way like haha your life sucks, but like there's got to be something wrong or like so like that's putting you down that makes you feel like
when your
that'll
life
make you
so
feel better.
That you have to attack like this nonstop to make somebody else's life worse than yours, so that you can feel better about yourself, and especially a mentally challenged person. Wow, man, I feel bad for them because they have got to really be hurting inside somewhere. There's got to be some disconnect somewhere that really causes them a lot of pain and suffering. And I really sincerely feel bad for them. I would, nothing I can do about it. I did finally track down one of the really nasty trolls who trolls me all the time. I finally tracked him down a couple days ago. And
it's kind of weird.
Seriously thought about sharing his phone number. And his address, and his name, and his family's phone numbers and addresses.
No, that doesn't help. I know he's not going to, but to even threaten to do it,
makes it so much worse. So that all the true fans of Josh could just bombard the shit out of him and his family and see how long they last. No, that is such a bad idea to even bring that up. But obviously, like I said, he's hurting enough, as guys.
No, don't stoop to their level, man. They dox me all the time.
Well, not only that, but like I said, this guy, to do what he does to us and say the things he says to us and the nonstop, he'll call me 5-6 times a day. I never answer the phone, and he'll finally leave a voicemail, which I don't listen to. I just delete them. But it's like, he's obviously got a hard life, he's obviously missing something there. So I don't want to make it worse. And I definitely don't want to.
It's so weird to threaten.
That's you.
Yeah, I didn't share the number with Josh.
What can the collective good people that want to help Josh, that aren't, sending him alcohol, aren't sending him duster, stuff like that, not getting him swatted?
Oh, not necessarily a bad thing. It's the duster that's the bad thing.
Yeah, but these people, what can they help? What do you think would best assistance?
Well, and the thing is, and I've seen a lot of very genuine people out there who do truly like Josh and care about him.
Just keep sending him those Subway sauce sandwiches and PayPal donations.
Makes my heart really happy. And I'm very appreciative of it. And so is Josh. There's good people out there. And Josh, and that's the thing that I think makes it the hardest with the hard trolling is he is such a good person. You met him. He is very genuine. He is very kind. I have never seen him walk into a building without stopping and holding the door for the person behind him, ever. And he's kind of scary looking, so people are often like, oh, but he just smiles. Animals just love him everywhere we go. Dogs just
one of us,
even me,
one of us,
right to Josh and call.
They're like, damn, this goth bad boy smells pretty good.
He's a very giving person. The first time when he got his first apartment, this was so many years ago, but he kept getting in trouble because he kept letting homeless people sleep there. I don't know if you remember those videos or not.
Yep.
And I talked to him like, man, you can't do this. He's like, but Dad, these people are cold, they got nowhere to go. What are they going to do? Sleep on the street? And this is the type of person he's a loving, caring, giving person who's
to his own detriment,
just genuine and different. And I know he's different, and it's okay to be different, man. But it's just the contrast between that and these horrible people is, wow, it's just night and day. But the good people, I don't know. I don't know what they do to help them. The thing is, and Josh isn't going to like this, but Josh has got to help himself. Any type of change, if anybody has ever quit smoking, quit any habit, it's hard. And it takes a whole lot of willpower, and it takes a whole lot of desire and work to change in any capacity. Because personal change is hard. We are creatures of habit. And that's where a lot of these trolls are. This is their daily habit. They get up in the morning and troll Josh.
Good clock in.
Laugh for the minute or whatever it is. But it's a habit. And if Josh is going
Clock it in at the troll factory.
Change. He's got to want to change because it's too much work. Nobody can do it for him. And it's the same thing with alcohol. He's got to want to stop it. And I think there's parts of him that want to have it.
I don't want to stop drinking alcohol, but I do want to cut down on it. And I've been making a solid effort on that.
Yes, you have.
No drinking before 5 p.m.
Where he's at. And that's what it takes. It's got to come from somewhere within. And I think the last year's holiday break where he ended up in the jail was a real eye-opener for him. And then his friend who struggles a lot with his health right now. Because
he was on his way to, in case you don't know, he was on his way to visit family. I guess he was with his dad. They're driving. They stopped at a place in Cheyenne, and Josh got out of the car and got arrested for being drunk in public or whatever that's called. I guess he was making a scene at the gas station or whatever, or convenience store, whatever it was. And spend the night in jail
because of things like smoking and alcohol.
Walt doesn't drink,
right? But the smoking.
He's a heavy smoker.
And he sees that, and it's starting to become more real.
Something to look forward to when I get older.
And the thing with Josh is,
I smoke weed, so I'm not worried about the confidence bill.
He's not gonna change. He has been this way since he was 2. And as his own dad, I had to get to the point where it was accepted. I had to accept it. There's one of his disorders, and this is very common with people who have eating disorders, is a self-loathing. And, people with eating disorders are often very misjudged as being very vain. It's all about their figure, whatever.
Is he just trying to make like an association?
That isn't the case. A lot of people with eating disorders, they literally don't like themselves. And they feel the need to there's this voice in their head that is always reminding them how terrible they are, what a piece of shit they are, how they're not worth anything. And Josh struggles with that a lot. And not even the trolls aside, he struggles with that a lot.
I guess he's just trying to make like an association.
Voices in his head, and it has been his whole life. And it's so hard for him to accept praise. It's very hard for him to accept good things. I've watched him over and over have something really good in his life happen that could be really great, and he will start to feel good, and it's instant. Nope. Fuck you, fuck this, and he just will shut it down. And he
sounds like Jessica.
Will eliminate the good thing because he doesn't feel he's worthy.
Now he's turning away. Like you embarrassed him.
If every wand he'd ever snapped was sold, because he'll make this awesome freaking wand, and you're like, oh my God, that is cool as shit. No, it's not. Fuck this. Snaps it in half and throws it away. And he does that that's a great, and the wands are a metaphor to real things in his life as well. Big Ben. Big Ben, and people with Asperger's, as you probably noticed with Josh, he focuses on things. The color black, the color green, snakes, cobras, Big Ben, bell towers.
Bells, clock towers.
Guns. These are things that he's been this way. This has been this way since he was 2 or 3 years old.
He loves clock
towers. When he was 4, he could tell you everything about Big Ben. They don't change. And very much need a routine, and they need that routine to stay the same. You experienced it yourself. I was laughing out loud at you. Sorry, when you were waiting outside of his apartment. Welcome to my world, man. Josh, I'm going to be there at 9. I call him at 8. I'm being there at 9. Okay. I show up at 8:30. You ready? Yep. No, I'm just getting in the shower. When you just get in the shower, it'll be quick. I call him at 8:45. I call him at 9. At 9:10, I'm knocking on his door. He won't let me in his apartment when I'm like this because he knows he's going to get a lecture. So he won't.
I'm getting out of the shower with the towel wrapped around my waist.
He won't open the door. And I'm like, dude, we got to go. Stop rushing me. And the more I rush him, the slower he goes. And so literally 11 is when he'll finally come out and we leave. I just sit in his parking lot. But he's that way, but he has this routine. And if that routine is not followed, every single part of that routine, he can't leave the house. And if you try to hurry him, then he rushes, and then he just doesn't function then. And then I can't think, and things are wrong. My routine's off. This doesn't feel right. That's not right. And also with the autism, being in busy places, being in noisy places, so traveling causes a ton of anxiety. But I really want to take him to see Big Ben, and it's been on our list for years.
Oh, and wow!
So back and forth. One day it's like, yeah, let's go, and then
to the motherland.
Okay, let's do it, and then I'll start to book it. And it's like, no, forget it. I ain't going. And part of that comes from the anxiety that comes with the change in the routine.
Sure.
And then another part of that is just he doesn't think he deserves it. I don't deserve that. I'm not good enough for that. Fuck
that. Is he about to light up a cigarette?
I like it. I don't want it. I don't need it. And then he convinces himself that he doesn't want it. And he does this with...
I've seen Big Ben 100 times on YouTube. I've seen the inside of it. So it wouldn't change anything seeing it in real life.
But it would.
No, it wouldn't.
And then next time we'll make plans to go again. And But this is, so in terms of, that was a really, really long-winded explanation to try to answer your question. But there's really nothing they can do to help him. I think the biggest thing they can do to help is somehow try to stop the troll.
I don't know.
Who literally won't let him have a life, who constantly...
Interesting request.
Oh, man, what a great guy.
My landlord's awesome.
He is awesome.
What a shame that Jessica had to ruin it.
And he watches Josh's videos. He tells me all the time, Clint, don't worry. They're in a thing they're going to fucking say that's going to make me... We know the situation. We know
what there was.
We know what goes on. I watch his videos. He's good. All his neighbors love him because he's so nice. And all the neighbors like, I want to go visit him. His neighbors like, hi, Josh. They're always talking to him. They love to hang out with him.
It's because their dogs love me. I go outside to have a cigarette, and their dog just comes outside.
Their dogs just you gotta see it. When they went to the Metro to file the report about Puff,
dog there named Rocket.
Dogs, and they were just
poor Puff.
But anyways, yeah. So it's just supporting him in terms of let him know, hey, you're okay, man, and you got a lot of people who really believe in you. And
I think you had mentioned the Christmas.
Oh my God, Josh is going. Oh, I guess you probably went to go smoke.
Would you mind talking about what happened?
The arrest?
Not really. Josh has a really hard time with holidays too, because he doesn't have enough shit to deal with. He also has severe holiday seasonal depression. And as we all know, Josh drinks to cope. He self-medicates with alcohol. And it was one of those things. I've been waiting in the parking lot for 2.5 hours because we were trying to leave town. When he finally came out, he was just so drunk. And then I called him out on it in the vehicle, and I called him out on it, and then he started getting really pissed off. He got sick.
Yeah, I bet.
And then after he got sick, he just started being very belligerent and very angry because I was lecturing him about it. And I wasn't even using a lecturing tone. I was just trying to talk. And unbeknownst to me, he had another pint of Jack in his pocket, and he gets it out and starts chugging it.
Oh, my God.
And we get to a mini mart, and we're getting gas, and he gets out, and he's in the parking lot just screaming at the top of his lungs and drinking and slamming this and walking around the parking lot doing, how he rants. He's doing one of his rants in the middle of the parking lot with a bottle of booze in his hands.
A rant in the parking lot?
Cops.
Oh, my God.
He's disturbing the peace and public intoxication. And the cop's like, what do you want me to do with him? I said, take him to jail, man. I'm serious. You got to be held responsible for that.
Oh, God. Clint.
What he was doing is not okay. And it's not acceptable.
Lock him up. Clint was like, lock him up.
And he needs to be held responsible for it. So the cop's like, you sure you don't want to help him? I said, no, you take him to the tank. I'm not going to take him home and babysit him.
That's wild.
Somebody called the cops on him. You need to take care of it. He needs to be held responsible for his action. And I'm glad to have.
I can't believe that. Clint, you just sent him to jail.
To be honest with you, because it was a wake up call. He certainly.
I guess it was effective.
Still struggles, obviously, with the dependency, but he is aware. It did make him aware because he didn't remember anything, and he didn't. And he's like, I did what? Things he was saying. Oh my God.
Like what?
The stuff that was coming out of his mouth was.
I would love to know.
Wild, and so much anger, and it just wouldn't stop, and he just would not stop, and he could not redirect. He just would not redirect, and when I told him about what he did, he felt really horrible, and he said okay, and that's when he agreed to start getting counseling, and
oh wow,
and that's been.
He's been going to counseling.
We haven't gone for like a month now because I'm in my busy season right now. And I'm his normal ride for stuff. So, where I'm in busy season, I haven't been able to. I'm just can't until the end of this month. Is when
interesting, Clint.
Normal schedule. But for my particular business, October to Christmas, it's 20 hours a day. It's just insane.
People criticize you a lot, not taking care of Josh enough, or not be. What level do you think you're actually responsible, Josh, as a?
Well, that's a great question. Legally. None. He's an adult. He's lived on his own for 12 years. You know what I mean? What am I supposed to do? Ground him?
Fair enough.
Take away his phone? Spank him?
What's this about legally?
So in terms of what I am able to do, nothing. There's this huge movement to Clint needs to put him in a home. I don't have that capability. I don't have the right.
People do say that a lot. I don't know that's supposed to do.
Just say, well, go put him in a home. And I have friends who still work in the, I told you I worked in the field for 10 years. And I have friends who still work in the field. And I talk to them about that stuff. And I say, nothing you can do, man. It's literally nothing you can do. And not only that, but I wouldn't want to put him in a home because I know it would kill him.
Yeah, definitely.
At the same time, in terms of what level do I feel responsible for him? I'm his dad. I love him and I care about him. And so I am, when he needs me, I'm there always. And I get criticized for that too. There's no win. There's no win. Like I said, these people want a villain and there is no win. And whenever you have a unique person like Josh too, everybody wants to know why. What's wrong with them? How did they get that way? Well, it must be his, and that's a common response.
It's because I'm unique doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me, though.
Exactly.
I've gotten tons of text messages of people pretending to be you, saying, this is your father, Clint. You're grounded for making videos and drinking boys.
That's so dumb.
Oh, my God.
Better not go live, boy. It's your dad.
So, but in terms of being responsible for him, he's my kid. I'm always going to be responsible for him.
Oh, God.
But as I said, he's an adult that lives on his own. And if I want to be in his life, there's a line that I can't cross or I get banned from his life. So I play on the edge of that line all the time, but I can't cross it.
You edge?
And I shouldn't cross it. He's an adult. And to be honest with you, with the level of mental illnesses that he has, most people at that level are homeless or they're in homes. And does Josh take good care of himself? No. But does he survive on his own?
You didn't like that.
And for that, I'm proud of him, especially with the level of harassment he gets. Imagine, and I can't help it, especially imagine what his life would be if he wasn't trolled. So how much stronger, because I can't
might have a clock tower dream mansion.
Non-stop abuse 24 hours a day. Name any human being that could live through that and be okay.
Superman.
None.
Not human.
None. Except one.
Imagine if Superman was real and he just got trolled all day. The Superman haters making the subreddits talking shit about him.
And no, he's not okay. But he's so much more okay than anybody else would be in that situation,
I think you brought up an interesting, wondering, imagining what like if he didn't have to get trolled all the time. And I want to ask you, are there some times where you wish that Josh didn't do YouTube or that didn't ever start doing YouTube?
Yeah, so that's another really tough question. Selfishly,
it's who he is.
Yeah, I wish he never would have started.
It's part of him
because of what I see him go through. But the good parts of it, this is what he does. It's his thing. It gives him joy. He has some very, very toxic daily habits and relationships because of it that are very frustrating. But it's what gives him joy. It's what makes him happy. It's what he does. It's his thing.
Toxic relationships, huh?
And Josh has always been seriously funny. He's just always been funny. There's like jokes. There's jokes. And there's dad jokes, and then there's Josh jokes. and he's always had Josh jokes his whole life. Even when he was a little kid, he'd have Josh jokes all the time. And he used to come to work with me all day.
What's a Bread's favorite book?
Because I was coaching, so he'd come hang out in the gym all day. I was a single parent of Josh for several years, and we just hang out all the time. We'd get up every morning and have breakfast and watch Disney cartoons. And then this is why, by the way, his obsession with pipes, smoking pipes, that comes from 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, wow.
Roger.
The shotgun, where's that obsession come from?
Tombstone,
and also Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
A lot of it, Big Ben, that fascination started with 101 Dalmatians as well.
Interesting.
Literally came from Disney movies that we used to watch when he was little. And then we'd hang out all day together.
He's a Disney adult.
Go to the gym with all the kids. And everybody loved Josh, and Josh would entertain him and tell jokes. Even at the age of 3, he was telling silly jokes. He used to get the bubblegum paper, and the people would buy him joke books for Christmas because they.
That explains a lot.
And then his concoctions, his food and drink concoctions. Good Lord, the stuff that I've seen that kid put in his mouth. And the thing is, and he always loves it. And everybody else is like, oh, don't. And he's like, he's having food gasms all over the place.
Cat food.
Like, oh my God, he's digesting that.
How is this a troll? It's literally free food.
I got a Josh joke. It's really bad. What do a funeral director and a mortician use to keep the fire warm during the holidays?
Bodies.
A eulogy log.
Eulogy log.
There's jokes,
like a Yule log?
Jokes, and there's jokes. So anyways, but this is what he gives him joy. And that's another thing
what?
The people accuse him of constantly e-begging.
How is it e-begging when I just sit there and people give me money? I don't even ask for it.
And they're always like, you must be proud of yourself for bagging all the time. And I'm like, well, he entertains you 24 hours a day. He should be paid for it.
There you go.
Yeah, how much money do you guys make on merch off of him?
Only my ideas.
How much money does he?
Fun of my business.
How much money does he get from those merch sales that go on constantly?
With the troll T-shirts, the trolls make fun of me and steal my likeness.
No, there have been.
I don't get jack from those sales.
The guy that made his logo for his one business, he used to always. I don't know if he still does, but he would send like gift cards to like Home Depot and stuff like that to help Josh out with proceeds that he made from selling merch. And I thought that was really cool. He'd send him materials or gift cards and things like that because, and not only that, but he was so kind, to make that logo for Josh. And it's such a kick-ass logo.
Oh, I love my logo.
I'm looking at his sticker. I've got his stickers all over down. So
can I have one?
It's, and so that he was a really cool guy. And there's a lot of those guys out there.
So I think, that leads into the next question that I had naturally, which is, do you think collectively that YouTube has been a bad or a good influence on Josh? Like, do those goods in your mind outweigh the bad?
They used to, because there's a lot more of it. But the really nasty trolls have been getting stronger and bigger. And they get their, I don't know,
stronger trolls.
They get their 5 minutes of fame out of it or what? Did they get their dopamine rush every day from going to the subreddit, I guess, and posting something totally vile and getting a lot of likes on? That's a good question. That's hard. It used to. I don't think it does anymore. The substance abuse, and of course they'll blame me for
Okay.
Don't know how we worked that one out either. And at the same time, I get it. If I had to live a day in his shoes, like at
a certain point, what is Clint supposed to do, really?
I really would. I could not be him. I get trolled 1/10 as much as he does, and I don't even read them. That's the other thing. So I'm not even taking the mental abuse. I'm just annoyed as fuck. He's got that mental abuse to go with the annoyance nonstop all day long. How do you come out of that okay in any shape? And so for that, no. I wish those people would go away. You know what I mean? And they won't. They thrive off of this. That's where the word trolls come from. They're slimy, stinky, small-brained little people who live under a bridge and torment good people.
That's not gonna help.
In their mama's basement.
Is, And so no, I don't. The good that's come out of it, like when we were on over Thanksgiving, we went and visited my family, and we always do for Thanksgiving, go visit family. And he, everywhere we went, people would see him and go, "Hey, can I get a selfie? Can I get a selfie with you?"
Okay, no, that's definitely not my computer. Nothing's popping up. It's got to be the other guys.
Some real fans that he ran into. It was really cool. And made him feel really good.
Maybe it is me. I'm just not sure what it is.
He's a rock star. We're in the Denver airport and people are taking selfies with Josh.
Oh, man.
And I haven't gone on tour yet, so I can call myself a rock star.
So when I see that stuff, I'm always like, oh, man, that's awesome. And I appreciate those people. When I see people like the guy that made his logo, reaching out. And when I see people sending him little gift packages of his favorite jerkies and stuff like that, that's just very thoughtful. The people go, Josh loves his jerky, so I'm going to send him some. That's just really cool. The
sauce sandwich from Subway.
I just want to see those things. Yeah, and I just know how much he loves it. It's just, he always tells me when he's doing a new food hack, I always get a text message or a phone call to tell me about it, and so it's always, it gives him great joy to do the stuff he's doing. But I also see the hurt, and I see the nonstop hurt, and I see the nonstop alcohol abuse because of the hurt. And I get, and then I don't.
It's not abuse if it's in your stomach.
It's not abuse if it's in your stomach. Sorry.
What do you think is one thing that people that watch him don't know?
That's what, man.
I think the one thing they
don't
know, I think the one thing none of them realize, the good people in or the trolls, is how close his family is to him. I think when they see his lifestyle, they assume that his family's abandoned him and that he's on his own. But like I said, we're in contact.
Interesting.
Sometimes every day.
A lot's up, Josh.
3 times a week. And whenever we have any type of family things, he's always involved.
There you go.
Sister takes care of him, helps him out when she can.
How so?
Everybody loves him, and everybody's there for him.
How does she help?
Very, very supportive of him, and they're very involved in his life, even though none of us, we all choose not to be in his online life.
Sure.
Because again, that's his thing. We don't want to invade on that. That's his thing, and we don't want to take away from that. We want him to be able to have that on his own without interference. And the only reason I'm finally doing this interview is just because it's just gotten so out of hand. Some of the theories and some of
that's why you're doing the interview,
in my opinion, are getting dangerous.
Because my trolls don't have a family like us.
because
trolls have no family.
I've had death threats on my kids, on my daughters. I've had people threaten to kill my daughter because I'm such a piece of shit parent and nobody gives a shit about Josh. So they're going to kill our entire family to teach us a lesson.
It's messed up.
We are a very loving family and we're very close. So to hear talk like that, and one of these days, the shit that they keep making up and spewing all over the subreddit, there's going to be some crazy person that decides they need to take action. That's my fear. Eventually, some crazy ass person
don't manifest that
the shit that they're hearing is real and decide they need to take action.
Very odd.
And we're going to end up on some late night drama television show, where they're going to be watching this to find out how Clint died. It's surreal, man.
Jeez.
Because when does it end? And where does this go? There's nowhere good for it to go in terms of the really intense trolling and the crazy stories that keep coming out. There's nowhere good for those to go. And
maybe someday he'll be successful enough he can just have security and a
You're not going to see me and Josh's YouTube channels. Okay, that's Josh's thing. And it needs to be his thing. And I will stay out of it. But like I said, in my opinion, it's getting dangerous.
Sure.
And so I felt it was finally time to say something. And like I said, those guys are going to twist it all anyway. So it really doesn't matter what I say. Josh especially could win the lottery and literally cure cancer with it. And then the trolls would attack him for it and everybody who took the cancer treatment.
I think
Jessica was supposed to win the lottery. Did you ever hear that story?
some people think that you are Josh's guardian, that you have like some sort of legal control or something. That's not the case.
When it's common, and this came up to us, this is, in my opinion, a mistake, and also not a mistake that I made with Josh. When they're minors and they're about to become adults, typically, if you've got a minor with disabilities of any kind, you go through a paperwork process where you become their guardian and have custody of them even as an adult. Okay. And so that is a common thing. And we sat down with Josh and the whole family when that time kind of came up when he was 17, and decided he already had such issues of control, and especially with the idea that we control him and constantly tell him how to live his life, brush your teeth, things like that. So we decided collectively that I was really, really hoping that if we didn't do that to him, it would be a sign to him that we respect him and trust him.
Does he regret this now?
And rise up to that, if that makes sense. Where I really felt it would be very detrimental to him and our relationship, especially if I then produce paperwork that say, guess what? I'm your legal guardian for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I said, there are times when I wish I would have done that, because that would have given me legal recourse to help him more, or to, if I wanted to put him in a home. And like I said, I don't want to put him in a home. He would die in a home. It would be terrible for him. At the same
for the staff too.
At the same time,
you would make it hell.
Beneficial to him, some of the services that he would get from that. Especially something like detox and some daily counseling. When there are certain meds that do help him quite a bit, and I would love to see him go back on those. So there are some things, definitely some areas I think he would function better and could have a more productive, what we call a normal life, if I would have retained his guardianship and forced him to do that stuff.
Normality doesn't exist.
But at the same time, I don't think I could force him.
Normality doesn't exist.
Person's definition of normal is different.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to make him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's good to clear.
Your room's changing colors now?
No, I don't. And like I said, and part of me thinks it was a mistake, and the other part of me is like,
interesting.
I'm glad I didn't, because his personality type, the defiance disorder, would have magnified that times 10.
Sure.
And I think he'd have gone off the deep end. I really do, in terms of anger and hostility and just his general behavior.
What are your hopes for Josh's future? What do you envision?
Well, what I would love to see Josh do is, I'd love to see him start a YouTube channel that could be monetized, where there's no drugs, alcohol, and swearing on it, and just
he's monetized now.
I got my monetization back.
Oh, good. I've even volunteered to buy his food for it.
For food hacks?
Just make one meal a day and call it Cooking with the Cobes. Cooking with the Cobes, and it's one meal a day.
Clint funding the food hacks is pretty funny.
Where you do some crazy food hack and have foodgasms while you eat it on camera, sober. And I think a lot of people would watch that. I really do. And I think it could be a very successful venture for him in the YouTube world, both financially and mentally, for him. I think that would be great. How
can we capitalize on this?
Continue with the counseling. I hope the counseling gets to a place where he can address some of the issues that he really has dealt with all his life. I think some of these issues come from abandonment issues. I think is where some of the self-loathing comes from, and not feeling worthy or deserving of anything good to happen. I think some of that comes from that, from his biological mom. And
indeed,
in her defense, she wasn't mentally okay, I don't think, Gee,
I wonder where I get it from.
She wasn't a horrible person. But after we divorced, she just kind of disappeared one day, and that had a serious effect on her.
Literally keep trying to find her, and it's just like, dude, I didn't ask for that.
They won't. And not only that, but she doesn't deserve hate. I understand where he feels that, but she certainly doesn't deserve hate from the online. You know what I mean? She was in a rough place in her own life, and she dealt with it the way that she knew how, and it's very sad and unfortunate, but it is what it is. But anyways, I'd love to see him get help with that. I'd definitely love to see him get help with the substance abuse. I think the more he could get that under control, I think he'd be happier in general. And definitely he's slowly killing himself. And
the thing is, just a slow way to kill yourself.
And when I bring that stuff up, I get reminded that I want to die anyway.
Well, I don't want to die, but we're all going to die, so you might as well enjoy it.
And then I would love to see, and he needs to get his teeth taken care of. And he finally did set a dentist appointment.
No shot.
I did, but then I didn't go to it because I lost puff.
I know, but he's at least moving that direction. I don't know what can be done.
I think the mead really deteriorated his teeth quicker.
When you don't brush your teeth for 22 years or for 12 years, I don't know that there's any help. But he's finally at least open to go to the dentist and getting it worked on or looked at. So hopefully that'll get fixed. His wand business, as you mentioned in your video too, he's sitting on a gold mine. I want his wand.
Glenn's trying to make him money.
Because I would sit home all day and crank out 4 of those things, and he'd make a full-time income. If he cranked out 4 wands a day for what he sells them for, he'd make a very good income. And I keep trying to tell him, you want to win the lottery to build that dream house, make 4 or 5 wands a day and save the money, and you'll build your dream house.
For the money I need, we got to include like landscaping and like how many acres I want.
How many followers you got?
80,000.
80,000.
81,000.
1,000?
Damn.
Times.
Now he's at 100K.
So that is, let me count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. $4 million.
If everyone bought a
wand, that's $4 million. I think he does need counseling. I think he needs counseling to learn how to overcome a lot of the self-abuse and definitely the alcohol abuse and substance abuse. He needs help. But as I mentioned very much earlier in this interview, it's got to be self-help. You can't force help on people. In terms of, does he need help in terms of how he lives other than the substance abuse and the teeth? No. It's him.
He's vibing.
And I'm cool with
He's thriving.
He's just who he is. He's going to get up every day and make YouTube videos and rant and cook some crazy ass food.
He's chilling like a rock star villain, I'd say.
Masons and drink them and make wands and plays guitar and
attempt to the national anthem.
That's just who he is, and I'm totally okay with those aspects. Like I said, I love Josh.
He loves his goth bad boy.
Proud of who Josh is. There are some of his choices I'm definitely not okay with, and definitely not proud of, and he knows that, and I'm on time. But I can't change him. Those are, like I said, self-help comes from self-help. It's called self-help for a reason. And change isn't easy. And
those chairs don't look very comfortable now.
I think we all know somebody in our lives who struggled with substance abuse. And it's a very sad thing to watch them slowly demise into this canyon, and they don't see it, and they don't acknowledge it, and they don't want to see it or acknowledge it. And it's very hard as someone who loves a person in a position to watch it happen and feel so hopeless. And you do what you can.
It's got deep.
And you love them. And that's it.
You've talked about this a little bit, but I think what do you think is the best thing about Josh? What is his greatest quality?
One is kindness. He is seriously just an incredibly compassionate person.
They say he's a good friend.
And older people. He's just so genuine with them, and he's so caring about them, and he's just so good with them.
I love my senior citizens.
And he always has.
He does get along better with
senior citizens than I do with most people my own age.
There you go.
Without a doubt.
And it's definitely not about hanging out with Ellen.
And his the fact that shit that he goes through on a daily basis, and he just is unapologetically himself all the time. That takes balls.
True.
that is serious respect.
He does. He does live at 100.
I could be 100% myself all the time. I'd be too terrified of the judgment I would receive.
What do you think the real Clint is in that?
We Aries don't give a shit.
And I think most people can relate.
You want more gymnasts?
To me, a lot more than him.
Gymnastics.
I'm not going to let the whole world see my vulnerable little underbelly.
Leotard.
And because I don't want to, I'm afraid of being teased or harassed. Not Josh, man. He just puts it all out there. This is me. Take it or leave it.
I could kiss my Asperger's.
I'm not going to change for you. I'm not going to change for them.
Go.
This is who I am, and I'm going to stay that way. And when people in town sometimes approach me and ask, "Are you Josh's dad?" I'm instantly on the defensive because I want to know if
sure,
I'm or not.
Understandable.
and I'm like,
kill him?
I'll help.
And I'm like, "Do you know Josh, or do you just watch his YouTube channel?" That's a little bit contradictory because, like I said, what you see on his YouTube channel is pretty much what you get because he's unapologetically him. But he also does have that persona. The way he is on his channel, he isn't that way 24 hours a day. There are times when he's, much more chill. Like when we play games and stuff like that. He's, you're not seeing that persona.
Games?
When we're visiting the family.
Games? GTA? Zombies?
When we're making wands. But
I'd love to see them make wands together.
Last thing, is there anything that you want to say, that you want to get out there, set the record clear, or, just final words?
Well, I've already said it all, but, if you wanted a summary, the people that are good to Josh, thank you. I seriously appreciate that you care about him. I seriously appreciate that you, in what level you can, try to help him and take care of him and support him. To your severe trolls, I seriously feel bad for you. I wish you.
Clint's looking out for those trolls.
Yeah, my trolls need help more than I do, to be honest.
They do. Because
his trolls are sadder than he loves Ozzy or something.
They've got to be some seriously miserable people to get joy out of harassing and trying to ruin another person's life, especially an autistic person's life. That's a special kind of weird. Okay. And in terms of you guys that feel the need to call me and text me all the time, if you need to keep doing it for whatever reason, fine, but I don't read them. I don't read your emails. I don't read your Facebook
messages. Same here. I'll get a text message saying your trolls on the subreddit are doing this, and I'm like, I don't care.
What
unless they're threatening my life.
The hell is this?
I don't care.
It's some interesting Zoom effects going on here. But I don't, like I said, they think they need to keep doing it to feel better about themselves. I guess, okay, but I don't read.
Because they think you're going to ground me and put me in a goddamn group home.
I don't listen.
Maybe it is a fake background, or maybe it's just like the way, like whatever, just like
I don't listen to.
Has decided what the subject is and is just highlighting it.
And read it all, but I quit doing it a couple of years ago because it's just too much. And A, I don't have time, and B, it's just the same rhetoric over and over and over again, and they don't know what they're talking about. And it's vile. So if, like I said, for their information, I don't look at it or read it or listen to it. So if you think you're making a difference on me, you're not, because I don't listen to your shit. He tells me.
Take that, trolls.
Other people will tell me.
Well, I do that so you can have a laugh with me on how stupid they are. I'm not doing it to make you feel bad.
I know. Oh, I know. It's all good.
All right, let's wrap this up, huh?
I did want to include a short addendum here. Clint emailed me after the interview to clarify some things that he didn't get out. So this is directly from those emails. Oh, by the way, this didn't come up in the interview, but I know it's something people love to attack him about. Josh isn't on SSI. He hasn't been for many years. When he was on SSI, they did a full psych eval and deemed that he was permanently mentally disabled. He receives a small disability check from the government each month, and it varies with his income. I do his taxes, and all of his income is reported. One of my goals is to get him making enough money with his wands and YouTube so that the check gets smaller and smaller until it goes away. And another interesting fact that people don't get is his income. One of the reasons many people hate on him is because they think he makes a lot of money because he has a lot of followers. That's just not the case. With all of his ventures and the small disability checks, he makes less money a year than he did when working for Wendy's full-time, and because his income is all from self-employment, he has to pay into taxes at the end of every year too, instead of getting a refund. You guys stay good.
I know about that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Thanks.
Happy holidays, man.
Yeah, happy holidays.
There you go. Oh, look, the Wendy's saga.
Audio check, mic check.
Wow, it took a really long time. Whew. Clint trying to take his blood pressure with that shirt. He does love his tight shirts. They'll call him Daddy Nips for nothing. I think what I found most amusing from this is that Clint was offering to buy ingredients for Josh's food hacks if he was just going to do that every day and have it be a cooking show, and all the support for the wand business. He is getting back to it. I wonder if there's any updates to his Etsy. No, just those pants that are still there. No one wanted those pants. 7 people have this in their cart. It's kind of funny. Are these like Jessica's pants? Cost to ship $116. Okay, wow. All right, do you have any different takeaways from this you want to discuss? Let me know. It was pretty goofy that that Clint was like, yeah, just throw him in jail for the night when all that happened. It's like, I don't know what else to do at this point. All right, interesting insight into how some of this stuff works, I guess. That's all I got, and I'll see you for the next one. All right, bye-bye.